This episode is sponsored by Wilkes Consulting, a locally owned firm with expertise in government relations and liquor license consulting. No one knows Northeast PA like our experts who were born and raised here. Because we are local, we provide a personal and professional relationship you won't find anywhere else. If you want to keep up with the latest COVID restrictions at your bar or restaurant or get in front of a state representative, then give us a call. We guarantee we will get you a fast and accurate answer. Call or text us today at 570-606-9206. That's 570-606-9206. Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr., and I'm your host for the On the Stacks podcast. Today, I'm chatting with Brad Barry and Tim McDermott, co-founders and partners at Japhy Creative. What's up, podcast episode 34? Welcome to the On the Stacks podcast, Brad and Tim.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
So you guys brought some really brand new high-tech video equipment today.
Sure. Yeah, it's Bell & Howell. It's roughly maybe 400 to 500 years old. It's the first camera ever.
That's it?
First camera ever.
Yep.
This one's called the Polavision Twilight.
Love it.
And it
blinded me.
It blinds people.
It blinded me on the stacks, by the way. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no, that was our pleasure.
Yeah, so like I can't even see right now, so we're just we're flying blind here.
Yeah, that's the thing with podcasts.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Yeah, so Brad, why don't we start with you? Tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started before Japhy. So let's like kind of take it back a little.
Yeah, so
How far back are you going to take it?
It's up to him.
Not birth. We could do the whole, I think we both share the same origin story, which would be like,
similar, yeah.
It is. It's like my aunt or grandma's VHS camera, blah, 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 sort of a thing. But most importantly, I worked at Blockbuster. I think that's where it all started. Let's be real, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it started before that. My father used to leave on like he used to love the Sci-Fi Channel. And I think he used to just like have it on. And so when I was a kid, I used to like fall in love with the movies from the Sci-Fi Channel. And back then it was a lot less Sharknado and more, original Alien and other nonsense like that. And then from there, I worked at Blockbuster. So, shout out 290-319.
Nice. That's the store number, I guess?
Of course it is.
Was.
Yeah, was. That's true. It's true. Now it's like a Med Express or something.
Nostalgia.
I still have the keys somewhere, so I could probably enter Med Express if I wanted. So from there, I went to Penn State, and I got a degree in film and video. And then I had a few jobs here and there. I did a graphic design work, and then I did photography, and then I did like a little bit of web stuff, but I was horrible at it. And then my first big boy job was at Benco Dental, and I loved it. And I was their video production coordinator for about 4 years, I think, give or take. And then I actually left to start Japhy Creative with Tim.
So tell me a little bit about your experience at Benco.
Sure. So it was weird because I was their first attempt at a video guy. And I guess I could say this now because I don't work there. And I love them, by the way. They're great people. It was an awesome 4 years. And when I left, I think because I left to start a business, the family, the Cohens, were really very open to the idea because it's a family-owned business, and they were super, super thrilled and nice about it. I wouldn't say thrilled,
They're happy for you.
Yeah, happy for me. It sucks to lose an employee, but they were super happy for me. Just to see me, I guess, an entrepreneurial attitude. Entrepreneurial attitude. Oh,
ew.
Sorry.
What is that?
I'm sorry you guys heard that.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
So anyway, I left, and when I was there, I think when it started, my very first project, I think it was almost even during the interview process, they were like, well, could you do a 3D video? And I said, of course I could do a 3D video, obviously.
And this was back like when 3D was like happening.
Like when 3D TVs were it.
Okay.
And then I like went home that night and I was like, oh my God, no, I can't. Who am I kidding? I can't do this. So I literally spent like months researching it. And every time they check in, I'm like, guys, of course I know how to do this. And then figured it out. And that's kind of what it was for the first year there, was like they'd pitch something, I'd figure it out, we'd work through it. And it was a very, what's the word I want to use? They let me make mistakes as we kind of grew together.
That's cool.
And then by the end of it, now I think they have, like 5 people in the department?
Wow.
No, maybe 3. I don't know. But it's a big department regardless. And I know they do tremendous stuff. So it's cool to see. I don't know. I kind of think I helped build that a little bit. I don't have to pat myself on the back, but yeah.
No, that's cool.
That's it. That's my origin story.
Yeah.
Not exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tim, what about you?
Similar in that, I had my aunt's video camera, played around with, but I watched a lot of movies growing up. I watched a lot of making ofs. I think that was my main thing. Was I watched a ton of movies, but I double that of making of like behind the scenes of Indiana Jones and stuff.
But they were like usually longer too, weren't they? Like I
You
feel
could
like
watch
if a
an
movie,
hour and a half.
Like if a
behind the
movie was an
scenes.
hour and a half, the behind the scenes were like 2 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would watch a lot of those. But honestly, I was thinking about this, and I think where it really started for me was, so I was in 8th grade, and the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas came out, and I really wanted to see it because I was a big Monty Python fan, and it was directed by Terry Gilliam. And my mom was like, I have an idea of what this movie's about. You're in 8th grade. You're not going to see this movie. But you can read the book, because she was always trying to get me to read books because I didn't want to read when I was little.
You just wanted to watch movies.
I just want to watch
who
movies.
Didn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Books.
she let me read the book. So I read the book. I loved it. You know, it's a very visual book, if that makes sense. But then eventually I, through clandestine efforts, was able to procure a VHS copy of the movie, watch the movie, and it blew me away how much the movie lined up with what I imagined was happening while reading the book. And I think that was the light bulb moment of like, oh, that's how this works. You can do this. So I think from then on, I was pretty much dead set on I want to do stuff like this.
And how old were you?
That was 8th grade. So
Okay.
what, 12?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you
12 or
said that, yeah.
13?
Totally good age for Fear and Loathing. That's
Yeah.
what I recommend. It's the movie is meant for 8th graders.
My mom was totally right in not letting me watch that movie. But yeah, I mean, the book is just as bad as the movie. But yeah,
it turned out all right, I think.
oh, I love them. I love the book and I love the movie.
Yeah.
But content wise, it's definitely not for an 8th grader.
Yeah.
I got to go behind that. But yeah, ever since then, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. So I don't even know if I know, like, how did you two even meet?
So back to my Benco roots, actually. I worked with Tim's sister, Kate. And she was, I think, PR and marketing. I'm sorry, Kate, if I got that wrong.
Because she's listening.
She's listening, right? Yeah. She'll be showing her friends this. So we were buddies at work, and I remember there was a project that came through, and I think we hired a company that Tim worked for, and I met Tim, cool dude, and it worked out well. And then afterwards, a project rolled around, and Kate was like, "Oh, you should call my brother. You guys could work together on it." And I was like, "Man, I'm 29. I have enough friends. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? I have my group. I don't need to make buddies."
Yeah.
So
same thing with her. Like, she'd be like, "Oh, Tim, you should really start working with my friend Brad. He's great." And again, I'm like, I'm old. I don't need you to set me up with a friend at this point.
there's an age where I don't need blind dates for friends anymore. You know, you're kind of locked in by like 29, 30. So
by 15, that's it. That's your friend.
15's pushing it.
Yeah.
Then, So we ended up. So it was the job was for a place in Wilkes-Barre called Basement Occam, and it's a Jewish school for kids who want to kind of come back to the faith. And it was a big project. It was their 15th anniversary, and it was like 4 of the hottest days ever. I remember, like, it was ridiculous. And so
and this location had no air conditioning whatsoever.
0. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So we worked on it together, and it was like, you know, I used a bunch of PTO days, and at the end of the day, we're looking at it, we're like, boy, this is probably one of the best things we've ever done. Like, well, obviously, it's the first thing we ever done. It's the best one.
Low bar.
Yeah, low bar,
there.
real low bar. Number one's it. So we, from there, it was kind of like, you know, we had this really cool video that we were proud of. And it was like, I mean, personally for me, it was like, wow, this paycheck was okay. You know, it's like you work 4 days in a job, you get paid for your 4 days worth of salary or wages. You do it on a video and you're like, oh man, this could be something. Like, we can make a living off of doing this.
And I think even more than that, for me, it was like, you know, you work for other companies and everything, and you're doing what they want you to do. And this was like one of the first times it was like, it's in our hands. It's our project. We filmed it. We edited it. We got to tell the story. It just felt more personal. And you don't get that when you're just working for another company.
Mine was all about the money, baby. All about the money.
I see why you guys work
kidding.
together.
Yeah.
Good.
No, but he's right though. He's right. It was like there was
the creative ability.
That's what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There was no boss telling you what to do. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily. It was just like, you know, we're both, you know, 2 guys who went to film school who wanted to make movies. So the opportunity came about to make a very short one for a place in Wilkes-Barre. And I think so. Kind of out of that, I ran out of PTO days. and it was the choice I had to make. And man,
Well, there were a few jobs after that. Like it started kind of ramping up a little bit. So like more people saw that video, wanted to work with us a little bit more. So we were taking time off and everything.
Okay, so you guys were maxed out, and people were starting to say like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Like, you guys do this stuff? Like, can we hire you?"
Yeah. Sorry, I did skip like 2 months
That's
worth of progress.
All right, let's go back.
We did. We worked with a bunch of people between. And then our poor Rachel, I remember our mutual friend, when I walked into her office and I gave her my 3-week notice, and she knew it was coming, and I feel so bad. And she looked at me with like,
sad puppy dog eyes.
So sad. It was so bad. Again, happy to see me, progress. And then I think I left September 14, September 14, right?
You were September. I was a little bit later than that.
I think you did March of 15.
I was March. Yeah.
And
I was
then-
doing like a day job, kind of copywriting thing.
I think it's the same idea. We just got too busy because of word of mouth, which is awesome. And then, like you had to. I think there was no other choice. It was either
Yeah, and
Quit
we
or
were,
get fired.
yeah, sort of. It was like he's calling off. They're like, you can't. You got to come
that's
in.
it. Yeah.
So did you guys like get together and like plan this? Like, hey, like let's just quit our jobs.
So it was where were we? We met with a mutual friend who hooked us up with. Do we have the LLC? I think earlier that year, or
It was in July.
It came in July. We had the LLC, and then
14. Yeah.
14, and then it worked on your usual startup-y, logo on a napkin kind of a thing, and then from there,
Cocktail napkin idea.
napkin idea. So then we ended up,
And I still have the notebook. And the first page the headline is unnamed video company.
yeah,
And it's just us writing down like, oh, here are our dreams. Here's where we're going to take it. Oh, it's about the story. It's about the feeling, the soul. It's real.
So it wasn't a napkin; it was a notebook.
It was
a notebook. Yeah, it's a moleskin.
All right.
Yeah, spare no expense.
Yeah.
Da Vinci wrote in those.
All the Moleskine stuff, not to shit on Moleskine, that's all marketing. Like Da Vinci, Picasso, Hemingway, none of them use Moleskine. None of them use Moleskine.
No.
Yeah. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, it couldn't have been around back then.
No, what do they even write on? Like, I think, like
stone.
skin.
Stone.
Like human skin.
Yeah, or stone.
Stone, yeah, like real skin. Where were we? I don't even remember at this point.
You were saying how
I'm a big stationery fan,
yeah.
and that's why
Yeah.
I feel like I
Yeah.
love being around
Paper.
here. Yeah, exactly.
Fun Tim fact number 1 for the night. He buys field notes and doesn't use them because he loves them too much. Like he'll buy
Nothing
really
I
cool field
write
notes.
is going to be worth putting in a beautiful notebook from Field Notes. So I just have
Yeah, he
I
bought
have
like a
like 12.
reporter style, and it still is like vacuum sealed in his desk. And that was like 4 years
it's
ago.
kind of like when you don't want to take the screen protector off your new phone
Oh,
or off the
100%.
TV, like or the computer, like you don't, you know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing.
Exactly.
I get it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for patronizing me.
I
disclosure.
empathize with you, Tim.
Full disclosure, he also bought me one that's still also vacuum sealed because it's too cool to open. Like, what am I going to do with it? Weird.
It could be vintage one day, you know.
That's true. It's true.
You know, and they'll be saying that Brad and Tim, you know, you guys will be the next Picassos on those. in the
No,
future, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll be
No,
the next
I could-
marketing. Yeah.
I could barely paint.
Yeah. So, but you guys were saying
Yeah.
how you guys once you quit your jobs, you started the company.
So it worked out, and I think so. The interesting thing was at the time I had a girlfriend, long term, now wife, and boy, yeah, I know we got married. We'll be 3 years in October, and I didn't have a house. I didn't have kids. I was like living with my buddy Lou. You know what I mean? It was a perfect storm of like, I don't have anything adult going on. Why wouldn't I? So it worked out. I mean, for me to do it, I don't want to discourage anybody who's looking to do it, but it wasn't a risk. I had no risk. Worst case scenario was I get a job. That's all it was. So for me, it was like, okay, cool. I could start this. And if it fails, whatever, I could do whatever I want. I think you were kind of in similar, right?
Yo, yeah. I was it was kind of the winter of my discontent. It was a pretty rough winter for me that winter. And I was working at a job that was copywriting for websites and stuff like that. And I'm glad I did it because I learned a lot about writing, but it was just not for me. It was just not my thing. And I feel bad. Those last couple months, the work that I did was nothing to be proud of, but it got done, I guess. So for me, I was going to be quitting anyway. I think I would assume I would probably want to quit.
Yeah, and I think
and just with Japhy growing, I was like, well, if I'm going to quit, at least I'm quitting for something that I can really throw myself into 100%. and invest myself into.
I think admittedly at the time we had a really good amount of surprise business. So I think you quitting wasn't, I don't know the word I want to use. It wasn't a shocking thing. Like it was you quitting. It's not like you quit and then we were like, well, now what do we do? Should we rent and then hope customers walk in? I think we were good. I think we were smart about it. We made sure that we had work lined up. We were going to be, we both saved money. We were like, okay, we're going to be safe for a few months. Let this play out for a few months. And it just kept growing. And we kept getting work and word kept getting out. So
Japhy was born.
Here we are.
Born. So Japhy, by the way.
Oh, sure.
What's the significance? How did you come up with the name Japhy?
So there's two parts to this. One of my favorite is I guess there's a family named Japhy who own a furniture store in Scranton. Is that what it is? And every
Something
person,
like that.
I don't know, but every person I talk to, they're like, oh, are you with the Japhy family? I'm like, no, that has nothing to do with it.
And you're like, what's that?
Yeah,
what are
I'm
you
like,
talking about?
No, I don't know them at all. I'd love to meet them.
we have a client that I feel like up until months ago thought we were Brad and Tim Japhy. That we
No
were
joke.
brothers.
No joke. I don't even think months ago. I think
love
until
that.
he hears this today, he's going to be like, that's not their last names?
He's going to be disappointed.
I know he will.
You should change your names real quick
That's
before this
true.
comes
Yeah,
out.
Exactly.
Yeah, right,
So do you want to, I don't know. Do you want to,
So okay. I'll
Yeah.
take this
Yeah.
one.
Go
Take
ahead,
the
Tim.
reins on this one. So we were trying to come up with a name. And every name that we thought of, we Google search it, try to figure out is this taken? Every single obscure word we could think of was taken by somebody in Australia. Like we were close to being Hatch, which we were like, oh, that's great.
Hatch was cool.
And we searched and there were 4,000 media companies called Hatch. So, okay, we can't do that. So we're talking, we're trying to figure stuff out. And I don't know how it came up, but we both are big fans of Jack Kerouac. And, he one of our favorite authors. One of his books was called The Dharma Bums, which was brought up in conversation at some point. And we're like, oh yeah, I love that book. That's great. The characters in it are great. The one character's name is Japhy Ryder. And the whole story of the book is it was written after On the Road came out. And so he had success. Jack Kerouac didn't know what to do. He was kind of lost. He needed to find himself. So his buddy, Gary Snyder, said, why don't you come up to the mountains? We'll go camping. I'll teach you about Buddhism, teach you about creativity, and you'll give yourself a reset. And so we thought that's such a great story and a great, it kind of, I don't want to get real lame about it, but it almost mirrored what we were trying to do. We were kind of resetting where we were in our lives. Let's call ourselves Japhy Creative. So we Google searched it and there were no Japhy Creatives. So
yeah,
that was it.
I don't want to get this quote wrong from the book. So I'm actually going to do a quick Google search
That's
I think
good.
is very important to both of us.
Google it.
Yeah, I'm going to Google it right now. So, okay. Yeah, hold on. Let's see if this is it.
Here we go.
This is goodreads.com. So this is from Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac.
Okay.
Read it, everybody. And it is, because in the end, you won't remember the time you spent working in the office or mowing your lawn. Climb that goddamn mountain. And that hit me. My God, that hit me when I 17, young idiot reading Kerouac, being like, oh, I'm going to do stuff like that too.
I'm going to get a rucksack and go across the United States.
Yeah, I'll be a hobo. But then from there, so you hear that quote and you're thinking to yourself, man, that's true. Why wouldn't you start a business? I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, it's cool. It's a cool thing to do.
Yeah. So that quote really resonated with you both.
Yeah. And that's why our logo is a bunch of mountains.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell you that each, and I mean, stop me if I'm wrong. I think for years, we're 6 years old now.
I was just going to say, how long has it been?
Yeah, we turned 6 in July. We turned 6 in July, which
Happy
is cool.
belated.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So we
Forgot the cake.
Yeah, we didn't get a card, but that's okay. That's
Next
fine.
year.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah,
All
well, sure. 7. 7, such an important age.
Yeah.
No one remembers 7-year-olds, please.
All right. When you're
Picking our
10.
nose, doing nothing. I'd like to tell you that our mountains mean something. And for years we've been trying. We have the 6 mountains. And
I had no idea there were 6.
So there's 6. And each mountain we were going to be like, okay, so and this is back in the notebook era of us being like, all right, mountain 1 means innovation. And from there, and like we kept throwing like, word soup and buzzwords. And by the end of it, we're like, I don't know.
It got more and more pretentious.
You're like,
what are we doing?
It got to the point where we're like, I don't know, maybe they're just like cool triangles with neat colors that work well on like stickers.
Neat colors.
They're neat. I think our cyan's pretty neat.
Not neat.
Yeah, cyan and dark red and some grays. Very little, I don't know, other colors. That's it.
So that's the logo.
That's the logo.
That's the logo.
And there's a story behind how important our logo is to us. Because they're
Is it?
triangles.
Is
No,
there
no, there's no
I was going to
story.
say,
I was waiting to hear the story.
Part, like,
No, there's
Tim
literally-
didn't even know.
No, there's no story.
Oh, okay.
It's really neat branding. That guy just kind of stuck and it worked well.
No, but it's
places,
kind of
so.
cool how it all kind of came together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was funny because Tim and I were both film majors who started a business, not the other way around. And I think that's an important note because, man, learning business is tough and dealing with like the bullshit day-to-day taxes and just having to deal with QuickBooks and clients and calling back and all the admin stuff you don't think about. Because at the end of the day, we just want to make cool stuff. That's what we want to do. That's what we got into business for, is to look at a client and be like, oh, this would be a really cool video for you. And then it's like to step back and be like, oh man, did I pay to my quarterly taxes? Did I like to really say, and be like, oh, did I invoice this client? Like we just did like that whole
No one
part
wants to
of it.
say the word client. Like that's
client.
such a businessy type term for somebody. Yeah.
So for like us to turn to like business people for me was difficult.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. It really is. Yeah. To take the day-to-day stuff and be like, ugh.
You don't realize you got to do all that bullshit.
Oh, it's
exactly.
the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
It's the worst part.
It really is, genuinely.
I mean, maybe some people like that. I mean, I don't like that part either, but
No.
some people are
I'm sure there
psychos
are
and
people
some people are psychos and do.
If there's anybody out there who wants to get paid very little for that part,
If
because you
anything.
love it,
If anything.
let us know.
Japhy's hiring.
Japhy Creative.
Japhy's
We're hiring.
quote unquote hiring.
We will let you sit with us during the day for some money to send out invoices.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. There's the ad for your
We'll see if that happens.
your position.
People are going to listen to this and be like, no way do I want to work for them.
No.
Are you kidding?
I don't know if we even answered a question yet. I feel like it just went on.
So Jack
Tangents.
Kerouac.
Yeah, oh,
God,
God, I
back
don't
to
even,
Jack.
I don't
So the
even want to
Beat
hear us right now.
Generation.
Yeah.
So do you guys both like play like different roles in the company, or do you both kind of do the same thing? I don't know. You tell me.
I think we probably settled into roles without assigning anything. We
Right.
kind of found strengths and just sort of.
So like Tim, like what do you do?
Oh,
Oh,
what do I do?
What do you do, Tim?
you
don't
can't.
know.
He's nervous. He can't answer it.
Yeah, I don't do anything. I delegate is what I do, which is some may say is the most important part of running a business.
That's
True.
what they say.
Telling other
Delegation.
people to do their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I would say my strengths personally are more maybe in the post-production process. I love editing. It's just something that I didn't expect that I would be. I don't want to say I'm good at it, but it's just something that kind of comes naturally to me.
He's good at it. Hold on. Time out. He's good at it, please.
But yeah, I wouldn't. It's not something that when I was in school, was something that I gravitated towards. But after school, it was just kind of a necessity. I have to know how to do this, and it just kind of came naturally. So I would say post-production processes,
Something like that.
multiple process times two. I would say that's where I kind of have my strengths. I guess my strengths are I care too much.
I get bored. I get bored when I'm busy or when I'm not busy. So if I'm not busy, I don't know. That's my.
So Brad, what are your strengths?
Oh boy.
You honestly, I got to say, you have been taking, as much as we complain about the admin side of the business, you have definitely taken it upon yourself to learn QuickBooks.
Because Tim, you said screw it.
I have zero intention of ever learning QuickBooks.
So did I.
So he had to.
I would, I think the listeners realizing that I just complained 5 minutes ago for like 40 minutes about it. Yeah. I would say I definitely do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, more of the salesy stuff. I definitely do more of the admin-y stuff. On set, I would say It's interesting because I think if you want to take it from a business perspective, we both definitely like bring in a lot of clients. When we first started, there was a lot of, Tim worked with a bunch of clients in his previous life and brought them on, which is great. And then I had a handful myself. So that worked out really well together where we kind of had like the sales bit that started. And it's funny because I think we both bring, I don't know how to put it, like different expertise in the film ways where I think he's a lot better with scripting and narrative development and editing and storytelling. I think I'm a lot better with technicals. So like your lighting, your audio setups, your camera angles, that sort of a thing. Which is it kind of like pisses me off a little bit because I was way better at After Effects 2 years ago. And then COVID hit. And now this guy is, I'm not kidding, coming out of the gate with After Effects videos. I'm like, man, I had a lead on him by miles. And I see the stuff he's coming out with. And I'm like, why did you learn so much during COVID? That was my thing, like dude.
You were coming for him.
I was coming for him and I was doing great. And then out of nowhere, this guy comes out, oh, look at all this cool stuff I could do now. Great, thanks. Yeah. So that was what I knew better.
What a jerk.
Yeah, he's a total jerk.
He sticks to QuickBooks.
I invoice is what I do. That's my thing.
Yeah, you're the billing clerk.
Basically, I'm the clerk. Yeah. No, but I'd say it's funny. We like even from day one till today balance each other out very well. I think we have our things we're very good at. The things we're both like kind of good at everything, but we definitely have our especially on set things that we're very good at.
Sure. Yeah, and you guys complement each other.
You look very nice today.
I like your hair.
Thank you. See, there's a compliment.
That was good. That was really good. Picked up on that like real quick.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't think I meant it to go that way, but it did, and it was cool.
We just do that. Maybe 4 or 5 times a day.
That's the kind of creativity you get with Japhy Creative.
Yeah, we like to make sure that we...
That was a good commercial, Tim.
Was it though? Because that was a terrible joke.
No. Sponsored by.
Work hard, compliment hard. Japhy Creative.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously people know you guys make videos, right? I mean, clearly we're talking about video and videography. So, but like, a little bit more in detail, like what really would you say is your specialty? Like, what are you guys best at when it comes to video? I know there's a lot of different styles of video and different types, or
I would say as a blanket statement, we're capable of doing whatever. We kind of do everything except for weddings. There are people out there that do weddings brilliantly.
Specialize in it.
And it's great. We both have done weddings separately, and they are the most stressful 8 hours you will spend ever. And it's like, are you gonna get the kiss? Or is your camera gonna be running when the bride is dancing with the dad? Like that's a lot of pressure, which we do not want to take on. So any video but weddings.
Can't charge enough for that stuff.
No, oh my God, those guys. They kill it with,
and they've got down to like the science too.
Yeah.
Which that's great. I don't want that. I never want to do that if I could.
But yeah, I guess we can do everything, and we do it to the best of our ability. That's kind of when we started it. We wanted to say, we want to bring top quality to everything we do, whether it's a talking head interview video or a narrative short film. I'll let you take the second half because I feel like you already know where I'm going.
You look like you're going to say something.
So it's funny. The one thing we always, and we don't know how to formulate this word yet so we've been in business for 6 years. We don't have a good pitch, which is like, tough because we're like, how do you tell somebody that you don't have to wait for the Super Bowl for a Super Bowl commercial? You know what I mean? Like it's difficult. We've worked with clients who,
that's your pitch.
There you go. There. Hey.
It was invented here.
Yeah.
On the Stack
Throw some
podcast.
quotes on that. If anybody uses it, that's going to be a quarter. Yeah, it's difficult. So we both went to school for film. We both studied directors and cinematographers and all this other, different kind of Hollywood stuff. And at the end of the day, we just want to make like short, cool videos for people where it tells a story where, if you own a Bill's Shoe Shop, you could have a commercial that's like, come on in, we sell shoes. We have loafers, penny and regular.
That
like,
sounds
okay,
exactly like, no offense to anyone who owns a shoe store, but it sounds exactly like a owner of a shoe store.
Sure,
that was good. That was a good.
No, thank you. I've been working on my shoe store owner for years now.
I could tell.
I've been knocking. His name's Glenn. Yeah. So I don't like Glenn. Glenn. It's a good shoe store owner name. So instead of that, why wouldn't you have a mother brings her young son in and they try on shoes and And then fast forward to, this is a real stupid example, but fast forward to him bringing his son in, and then you see the salesperson's older, and you could say, Bill's shoe store, 80 years of service, something like that, whatever. But like, tell a short story. Why would you, people know you sell shoes. If you're Bill's Bakery, people know you have bread. Do something different. There's no point in talking about the product you have when you can invite people in with a story that's going to hold them. I mean, we all remember the horses. Oh, I hit this thing. I wonder if that's going to vibrate.
It's all good.
You sure? It could be.
It.
But we all remember the horses and the dogs, and Budweiser or was it Coors? See, oh boy, that doesn't help me. That doesn't help my point at all, does it?
Budweiser, right? Budweiser has the horses.
It was Bud. Bud has the horses. Yeah, sure.
It was Budweiser.
Well, we all remember the Budweiser frogs.
It's Budweiser,
yeah. Yeah, but it's Budweiser. But you remember that sticks with you. And if I were to ask you, like, what do you think that commercial? If you go watch TV, see a 30-second spot, walk to the next room and come back in, you're going to forget what that spot was. It doesn't matter because it doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't tell a story. And that's part of the problem is like, the word storytelling is so little now. It got so what's the word?
It's just oversaturated. Everyone uses the word in marketing. I've seen storytelling.
So it's tough. It's tough to try to tell a client about it, and then they're like, "Oh, what does that mean?" You're like, "Oh, it's hard to describe." So I don't know. I like that we have both the clients that we do the bread and butter stuff we're good at, but then we have our clients who will say to us like, "Here's a ridiculous idea, please accomplishment," or even better, which is I'm not going to sell ourselves on not doing creative consulting because we sort of do, where a client will call us in and say, "I have no idea. What do you recommend?" And we can walk through some different ideas, brainstorm, get to learn about their business, what makes sense. And then kind of pitch to them like, I don't know if should I talk about specific clients? I don't know if I should.
It's up to you, whatever you want.
Yeah. So our buddies over at Net Credit Union, they're great to work with. They will call us in. They'll say, "Hey, we need something for the holidays. We don't know what. Here's what we're looking to pitch to people to come in and get loans or whatever they're."
They'll give us the parameters of like, we're trying to push this product and it needs to be
and what
holiday related.
Yeah.
How do you guys run with it?
Yeah, and then it's funny. So we'll sit down with them. We'll just say, we'll pitch them a few different ideas, but they're so receptive with things. And I like clients that could do that. Where if you say, we did a Scrooge parody, maybe I think 2 years ago, right? Last year or 2 years ago.
I don't even count this year as a year.
This isn't a year.
I don't even know.
2020 has been like 12 years.
Yeah.
We'll pitch to them a concept. They'll love it. We'll run with it. They'll kind of give us a little bit of freedom and trust us as a video production company. And then at the end of the day, it's the third time I use end of the day. I'm not using it again.
All right, that's your last.
At the end of the day, it's just about getting home.
It's about getting home to your family, making sure everybody's okay. So at the end of the day,
I feel really bad for anybody listening to this because all we're doing is telling like inside jokes that no one would have any reason to get.
Which, by the way, you hire us, you get this. This is the inside joke you're working with here.
You get to be on the outside of the inside.
You get inside joke videos.
It's not great. Yeah. But for real though, you do have this product that is shareable, and it instead of the noisiest of noisy internet, instead of having like come in here and buy my loafers, it's this beautiful video you could share where it's like it'll last and people will watch it and they'll share it because it's something that hits home.
Is that what you would say? What kind of sets you apart from your competition?
I think we try. We definitely try to. The thing is, no one likes commercials. Nobody likes commercials. No matter who you are, you do not enjoy commercials. So I feel like it's our responsibility to try to, all right, look, you're giving us 30 seconds. We're going to try to make something that'll at least give you a laugh or make you feel emotional about something. We try to make the best 30 seconds we can for somebody who doesn't want to see.
But you guys do
30 seconds.
Yeah, but you guys also do more than like commercials. I mean, you guys do, right?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, we've done short documentaries. We've done narrative-based short films. Pocket full of music videos. I'd like to do more. I feel like that's
more music videos.
It's a tough market.
We can make one here.
The problem is musicians
the video that a little plug for us. We made a video for Corcoran Printing, and I feel like the video we made here was like a music video. We tried to cut it as fast and as energetic and as interesting as possible to watch. Yeah.
How about we throw this back at you, Bill? What was it like working with Japhy Creative?
The worst. I'm kidding.
No, he's not. It was the worst. Yeah,
No,
we
really,
were
though, it
we
was,
were terrible.
All we did was talk about Jack Kerouac. It was
It was
exhausting.
obnoxious.
The mountains, the logo, the meaning. I didn't understand
Yeah.
it. The inside jokes.
a
I was
lot
like,
of stuff about loafers.
These guys are fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but like in all seriousness, I mean, you guys showed up and it was just like there was we didn't really give you any direction, and you guys just kind of took it and ran with it. And
Well, I think that video in particular is one of my favorites that we've done, because you had us in and you said, "Here's our story."
Yep.
It goes back generations. It's, I'm the youngest one right now. Here's our story. Make this interesting to watch.
And you did.
Yeah. And
Oh, thanks.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I'm not getting
you.
paid to say this, by the way. I mean, they don't even, that's the truth.
It was a fun commercial.
Yeah, it was a
fun,
blast.
video to make. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But again, like that's the idea where you trusted us, but also kind of had a hand in it, and we worked with you with it. And I think that's a big part of it, where we learned about the company. I've known you personally for a while now, so it's one of those things where it's cool to also learn about it. I think that's actually an important note for Tim and I, where people will call us in and they'll have us do videos about their company, and the company could be whatever, a diaper company up the road. But we're both sitting there in awe because we don't experience this. So we're walking through these warehouses and people are like, this is where the strap in the back happens. And we're like, oh my God, that's the machine that does it. And
Let's get a close up.
Yeah. And I feel like it's weird because with fresh eyes on certain things, you almost don't realize that you step away. You're like, I guess what I do is kind of cool.
It's a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I try to think that a lot too, because I feel like, when you're in your own business, like me or you, like your business isn't as cool or fun, as exciting as you think it is, because you're in it and you're doing it, So like, I tell that to people all the time, like people are genuinely interested in what you're doing, like the day to day. And like you said, like the machine, the close up thing, like it might not be cool to like the person whose business it is, because they don't realize it because they're doing it. But like to other people, they'd like to see that and know who's behind it and who's doing it.
I've even experienced, we've done like, big warehouse videos or something. And, we'll have a worker that's, I guess we'll pause.
No, keep going.
Yeah. Oh, we're grabbing a beer right now. Yeah.
No,
I'll take one of those. Yep. And that nice SBC Eat a Peach.
Little almond brothers.
Free commercial there for SBC.
Yeah, they got great stuff.
Yeah.
Golden Cold Lager, I'm
Here
a
we
big
go.
fan of.
Let's see if we can get the.
Wow. That was like a Foley artist.
Could you send that to us to use?
I will send you.
Wait, here,
the,
let me see if I could. I probably can't do a good job because I have my keys attached. Let me see if I can get the ready.
It's going to not work.
No,
All right,
here we go. Hunch. Damn it. Hold on. My keys are so loud. Hold
Take
on, here we
take
go.
two.
Take two. Here we go. Ready?
Slamming the microphone.
Come on. I feel like that was like really disappointing.
Do you think that was at all audible?
No, I don't know. I think it picked it up. I think it probably
I don't
did.
know. I'm so sorry, SBC.
Mine was better. I had the aluminum can. You had the bottle.
Better. Yours was ridiculous.
Mine might have been too loud.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that was the perfect.
That was
You could sell that to a movie studio.
Yours
They
was
would use that.
like a video of a guy breaking a bone and someone like ripping celery in the background, like
Yeah,
a Foley thing. That's what
Yeah.
it was.
That was a good sound. And I forgot where we were.
Yeah. So I know I've been in situations where we'll be doing a video for, like you said, a warehouse or something, and we'll be talking to someone who's working, right there with all the equipment, and they're kind of bored about it. We get excited thinking about like, oh, that's so cool. That's the machine that does it. They kind of get excited about it, and they want to show you more and everything. So I think we do bring a perspective into all of our videos of like, this is the coolest thing we're seeing. We can't wait to film this. And that energy kind of feeds off.
It's like infectious.
Yeah.
No, that's the wrong word. Is infectious the right word?
Not during these
Not in these
times,
times.
No.
Brad.
Oh boy.
Brad.
Oh my goodness.
During these times is also an overused term right now. During these
That's
times.
true.
During
Listen,
these unprecedented times.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's about the loafers on your feet.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you opening that shoe store or what?
I might have.
I mean, you got
What
that
am I
commercial
doing?
down.
I can't pay the bills. I don't know QuickBooks. What am I going to do?
That's all right. The bills aren't getting paid because I haven't sent invoices.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, you guys work with a lot of people in this area. Anything outside of the area? You guys are regional. How do you guys reach new customers? Like, what are you guys taking on new clients?
Yeah, always. I think I think it depends on the need. Currently, it's tough. We're in a weird place. We're trying to be safe. But yeah, we've worked everywhere. We've been Florida. We've been Texas, Jersey, New York.
I said at the same time. That was good.
Well, Texas, we had a really good time in Texas.
Quick story about Texas.
Yeah.
So I'm a vegetarian. I'll put it out there, right? So, and you should be too. And here's 20 reasons why. So I don't eat meat, right? And we're down in Texas, and we're shooting a video for a car dealership. And the guys that run the car dealership are the most like king of the hill Texas caricatures that you could ever like. They are when you close your eyes and think of Texas, the big belt buckles, like beer belly, like
everything's bigger in Texas.
They are Texas, right? So we're filming, and there's a lunch break, and they're like, "All right, guys, we're gonna have food. We're gonna order food for everybody. It's gonna be great." Food gets there. And I'm looking around, and I'm seeing like brisket, fried chicken, beans covered in bacon, like everything has meat. So either me or you goes up to one of the guys there and says, like, look, is there anything else? Is there like a Subway around here? Well, why? Well, I don't eat meat. Well, here you do. So I was like,
here you do.
Here you do. So I think that day I just drank their sweet tea. That was my lunch. Which
admittedly probably had like bacon juice in it.
Probably.
Just
And you could
flavored
chew
up.
the sugar that was in it. It was like the sweetest sweet tea I've ever had in my life. So yeah, we filmed in Texas.
Yeah, but I mean, we're always open for new clients. Obviously, who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
We've had our go-tos that we've worked with for years and years, which I'm thrilled about. It's awesome to have a relationship like that. Are you kidding me? Especially where to not have a one and done is so cool. To have somebody who comes back and they're like, oh, we have, Christmas, Thanksgiving, or we have a, mortgage, or we have whatever else. That's cool. That's very cool in our field. But yeah, I'd love, and I don't want to knock the one and dones, because I'm also a big fan of the anniversary videos. We've worked with, Family Business Alliance. They had their 15th anniversary, 20th a few years. I don't remember either. I'm sorry. You could edit that out. So you could edit that right. So, but they had their anniversary video. Like that's the sort of thing that of all things.
That was great.
But that's the kind of cool thing I really like about certain people and the other thing that Tim and I kind of work at is we'll be, sitting around the office, and I'm like, oh man, wouldn't this be a cool lawyer ad? And then we'll kind of pitch it back and forth, and we'll just kind of, bounce it off each other, or like, oh, wouldn't this be a cool blank? And from there, it's like, boy, who do we pitch to? Is it worth going in and finding that client that we could like?
I honestly think the Scrooge video that we made for Net Credit Union was an idea that you had years ago. That was 2015 of just like, I want to do something that's a Scrooge parody. So like we had that in our back pocket. And when they said we want to do something Christmas, we have this great idea that would be perfect. And
yeah, most people are thinking about their future. And I'm like, what about a Scrooge parody?
They haven't been done before.
Wouldn't that be neat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So kind of changing gears a little here, but what is your favorite thing about NEPA?
I'll tell you what. I think, pardon my French, NEPA gets shit on a bunch.
I agree.
I don't like that. That bothers me. It is a cool area. I have people who moved out of the area and they're like, oh, could you still live there? And yeah, I mean, it's rough. It is here and there. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's some, we're a little bit behind here, in certain aspects. But at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of people who own very successful businesses. Some of the best people I know are from the area. I think there is room for growth if you let it. Not to mention the fact, and I know a lot of people are going to say this, but yeah, we are close to New York. We are close to Boston. We are close to different beaches. We're close to all these different things. So to have a place to call home in this area is pretty great. I mean, we're pretty centrally located. But to answer your question, I think the best thing about Northeastern Pennsylvania is just the attitude of everyone who just wants to see it succeed, whether or not it is or does. I think the general idea of everybody who stayed here or moved here or married here, their attitude of wanting this area to succeed is huge. And I don't think you really get that a lot of places.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this area kind of perpetually has that underdog. status, and everyone's rooting for the underdog.
Who doesn't love an underdog?
Exactly. That's and every business that we've worked with, every person that we've met through the business, that's their answer all the time, is always like, well, I came here because I love this area and I want it to succeed. So everybody's rooting for this area. And I don't know. I think there's momentum behind it. I think, the recent events have really kind of like, put everything into a backseat a little bit. But I think at the same time, like, we're coming back, and it's kind of unstoppable.
Yeah.
What about you, Bill?
Yeah, what do you love about this area? You're
kinda,
born and raised here, right?
Yeah, I am. And, kind of the same thing. I think the people, and kind of what you just said as far as like, coming back. I mean, I think the thing about people in this area is like people don't give up on each other. And like when you just said about people coming back, like during this time, like sure, a lot of people, maybe aren't going to make it right now, with, the crazy times going on and, but
these unprecedented times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, I think just the people around here rally around each other and want each other to succeed. And, like a real live scenario right now, I mean, with this podcast that I'm doing. So, when I started this thing like 34 weeks ago or whatever it was, I mean, people like rallied around me and offered to help me for free in multiple aspects just to help get this thing going, and are still offering shit to me for free to help keep this thing going. I mean, everyone from Darren Elias, the photographer, to Charlie Consager, who built this table, to Rebanax Appliance, who gave me the mini fridge over there, keeping our beers nice and cold. I mean, there's just been so many. Mike Umbita, who helped me, do my audio editing for the first 30 some episodes. Like, it's cool. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Well, you even see that with, I think, local groups, like even like the Scranton Chamber did like Revive NEPA. I feel like that's sort of a thing where, who just did Axelrad just had their t-shirt.
Yeah, they
thing,
raised
right?
like $90,000.
My God, that's unbelievable.
I bought one from some bar that I've never been to, but I was like, well, I'm going to support this bar because I've never heard of it, so I want it to succeed.
Yeah, and I think that's huge too, man. I'm sure, a lot of people, I mean, I know there's a lot of like bigger cities that are in hard times as well, don't get me wrong, but I do think it is important that local communities do these things to help everybody else within the local community. I think that's so cool to see. You don't
get, like, Brad, you said it like earlier. I mean, you don't see this everywhere. Like, you don't get this in bigger cities. No. I mean, you just don't.
Yeah, it's tough. I think that like we just have, there's a certain I don't use the word grit, but there really is. I know it's a stupid word, but there is a certain grit living here where,
like I said, like not giving up.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we're proud to be from this area. I know I am. I love Northeastern Pennsylvania. My brother in Boston is rolling his eyes right now, and I know that, but like, I like the area.
Your brother who's from here.
My brother who's from, I know he like, I'm not calling him out because a lot of people who move away do not really see the area in a certain light. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to be 35 next week, actually. And I love this area. I really do. I mean, I think it is difficult at times. Let's be realistic about it. Like there are issues,
sure, like
anywhere else on earth. And but I do think there's potential, man. Always is, especially with the room to grow, the people here. I definitely think there's potential.
Cool. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something else to say because everyone's been saying very poetic things, and I'm just.
I did use the word potential twice, maybe 3 times. I can't recall.
I lost count.
Yeah, Jesus, that's a lot of potential. That's 3 times as much.
All right. Well, so what else? I mean, how can people find out more about Japhy?
Currently, if you go to www.japhycreative.com,
JAPHY creative.com.
Yeah, not
JAPHY creative.com.
Very good commercial.
Yes.
Thank you.
That will take you to our Vimeo page, which we are pretty much up to date with everything we've done. There's hundreds of videos there. You could email myself at timothy@japhycreative.com.
JAPHY creative.com.
Or you could email Brad at japhycreative.com.
JAPHY creative.com.
Now, I got to say, we're only doing this because one time we did a small job.
All right,
right?
tell the inside joke story.
We did a small job, right? And the person gave us a check, and the check was written out to Brad Video, which was a misspelling of the word video,
And also
which is also not Brad's last
My
name.
last name is not
Brad
Video.
Video.
It's
Brad
not like
Video.
It's
though.
not like shoemaker anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's not video is not my last name because that's my job. We're not in Europe in like the 18th or 14th century.
Yeah.
You know?
So we're not saying everyone's gonna mess it up, but just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
Now everyone knows Japhy Creative.
Japhy
Everyone knows how to
Creative.
spell it. In case anyone wants to write you a check.
Correctly. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram. We were on Twitter. We had a Twitter presence, but it turned into us just tweeting at TGI Fridays. And
It's worth the look. It's still up there and it's still funny.
It's still
But we
there. I
haven't
don't
been
know
to
when the last
Fridays
one
because of
was.
COVID. Yeah.
Well, I got to check that out. That sounds like the most interesting thing of anything you just said.
We've gotten a couple likes from whoever the intern is.
Whoever that-
at,
yeah.
Whoever's
TGI
running the
Fridays.
TGI Fridays Twitter is real into us for a little while.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Instagram, Twitter, sort of. Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. So
Cool.
Yeah.
that's pretty much all the channels I guess you could find us. Sometimes you'll see commercials on TV, and if you laugh at it, maybe we made it.
True.
Cool. And so before we end, what is this thing? I'm holding this thing. What is this thing called again?
It's a slate.
It's a slate. All right. I'm going to use this at the end.
Ah.
So on the Stacks podcast, Japhy Creative, Brad and Tim, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us. This is great, man.
Cut. If you'd like to learn more about the On the Stacks podcast, be sure to search the hashtag On the Stacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'll catch you next time on the Stacks.